Guys, welcome back to Rise and Grind. Happy Monday. We're back, baby. Let's go. Happy Monday, Meg. I bet you had a relaxing weekend.
It was so relaxing.
She had a relaxing weekend.
How was your weekend?
I had one too.
Good for you.
Rob, did you have a relaxing weekend? Who had a relaxing weekend out there? Come on, everybody here? No, guys, we had a lot of cool stuff we're talking about. I'm going to start off with the one that's literally blowing my freaking mind right now. And it's OpenAI's Sora. I'm literally so blown away. So if you haven't seen this yet, I'm gonna have our producer put this on the screen real quick for them right now. Just take a look at this. Literally completely insane. So what this, from a text prompt, you can literally create almost anything, right? So some of the prompts that they've already done, because it's not released to the public yet, but some of the prompts that they've done, like you'll see one here. Let's put up the guy with gray hair. Eating a hamburger. Like, look at this for a second. That is literally insane. Take a second to watch this. Like, what?
Wild.
So when you think about the fact that it can create an older dude who literally looks real, like looks completely real, right? Doing whatever you want. Like, that's so crazy. And then real quick, just for easy examples of different animated versions, let's show the horse on rollerblades real quick. How insane is that? When you look at this, like, what? Like, first of all, and it looks like a real horse.
It looks like.
So it doesn't look like a cartoon. Like, it literally looks like a real freaking horse. So, but they're building Sora to be able to create your wildest imagination via just entering text and prompts. And so I don't know how, the feelings that I have are still so all over the place. I'm like,
Me too,
do I like
honestly.
this? Am I scared for this? Because when you think about it, right? Like, if you can have a horse doing that, or some random guy in the future, what are going to be the points of, like, actors or actresses, or, when you look at, I think her name's Chloe from Progressive, right? Or
Flo.
Flo.
Yep.
So it's like, you see Flo from Progressive. There's going to be so many more people who are not real, who are watching, that are not actual, but they look so real. Like, it's not like it's going to be absolutely bananas. But what's crazy is how they're able to do this, right? Eventually, will movies be made this way? Obviously, promotional videos will definitely be made this way.
Absolutely.
But it begs the question of, like, what is that going to do to these, like, action shot, or just, like, the video and the editing community?
I also think about it from a news standpoint. Like we were talking about on social media, it's hard to figure out if what you're watching is real or not. And with this that looks so real, how easy will it be to sway someone into thinking that there's a war, or that there's this or that happening? And that's the scary part for me, that I hope they have limits on. Like, there has to be a limit on that, because those videos look so real.
They're absolutely stunning. And, again, we saw one dog. Let's pop the dog. We'll do one more. Pop the dog real quick. Painting, right? So take a look at this for a second. Mind-blowing.
These videos were generated by OpenAI text-to-video model, Sora, without modification. Prompt: a mini Aussie painting a picture of his favorite toy.
Like, look at that. How insane is that? I'm literally mind-blown. But when you look at it, like, the dog looks so real. Holding a paintbrush, painted his favorite toy. It's so cute, by the way. I love that. But it's like, what the actual...
Bleep.
Yeah, bleep. Like, it's crazy that we're living in this time where this is a possibility, right?
And
like, this type of technology.
can be done in a matter of seconds. It's not like it takes hours to generate these.
I saw this thing. I don't know how true or not it is, but I saw this thing that Apple had started building the Vision Pros back in 2008.
Really?
And they didn't release it ever because they didn't feel like it was at the place yet where it could be, like, at their standard. But secondly, they believed that the technology and the people around them weren't at the level of sophistication yet to get to where we want it to be, right? And when you think about this, we're now living in that world that they wanted to then release the Apple, Vision Pros in. And it's like, but that's even further, like, just crazy. Like, we talk about all the time how, like, in the past, like with the Tesla, like, boom, it's driving me places, right? Like, the augmented reality in the Tesla, would bring me places, see traffic around me, turn into different lanes, do all those different things. Damn, I miss my Tesla. But
Do you?
Yeah, I do. but now, right? It's like we're living in a world where videos can be complete pictures, images. Like obviously, image stuff is already there,
right?
But videos can now be created in stunning, insane quality.
Yeah.
For like
really high quality,
and legitimately in seconds,
right?
By just prompting something. So it's crazy where we're going in the world. It's crazy what's gonna come of the next steps of just AI in general, right? And this artificial intelligence and where it goes. But one thing I will say, so I'm gonna take Megan's second topic already. Not that it's your topic, but I'm gonna go into another topic about how literally freaking Elon Musk is suing OpenAI and specifically Sam Altman because he breached their agreement when they first started it. So if you didn't know this, Elon and Sam were the guys who essentially started OpenAI. Elon funded $50 million of his own capital in OpenAI, and then fast forward, wind up, letting Sam and the team build and run, and obviously just became a board member and stuff. But it was always looked at. It's called OpenAI because it's supposed to be open source. So like any developers, any people can have access to things and help and support and grow it. And it's supposed to be a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. And Elon's suing them because now it's not open source. He said verbatim quote, it should be called closed AI, not open AI. And then additionally, he was talking about how it was supposed to be a nonprofit, and now it's a company that has $19 billion that's so focused on profitability and profit. And so it just went completely against what they first set out to start the company on. So some people are speculating that Elon is just doing this because he has Grok now, and he's trying to combat that, like their competition between the two. But at the end of the day, the bottom line, where I think his argument holds a lot of water to, is that he started it with the intention of it being a nonprofit and open sourced. And that's why the one thing that's cool about Tesla, as an example, they love people getting into the electric space, right? That's what I love about Elon as an entrepreneur and as somebody who is a humanitarian, is like he wants people to develop better electric cars so that there's less emissions and bad shit on the planet, like Megan's truck does to this economy and this planet, better yet. So it's like, he wants, so when people want patents or want to like figure out how to do the battery the way he's doing it, a lot of stuff that he does is very open sourced, and like he wants people to innovate in that field. Where again, what he's saying about OpenAI is that they're not letting people touch their source. They're not letting people develop. You have to be on the team, and it's just completely opposite. So
it's interesting.
He's also, as we've seen, obviously reported also, he's also very, very worried about just Sam and what OpenAI is doing. He feels like it's a huge threat. It's very scary. And again, it's just, so let's see. We'll see how it all rolls out over the next
there has to be
few
limits
weeks.
to it. And if Sam doesn't want to have limits to it, I could see why Elon would be scared about that. I mean, there's a lot of potential for it in general. So
Totally.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
There was a Google core algorithm update that happened.
Yep.
First big one of the year, and it's something that we've been talking about for the past few Rise and Grinds, actually, about AI-generated content, and the core algorithm update shifted to now it's going to downrank any unhelpful or low-quality content. So if it feels like your content doesn't deliver any sort of value or additional information around a topic, it's actually going to push you down the ranking. So what does this mean for you? If you've been using AI to generate any of your blog content, you don't have to get rid of that blog. Just go back into it and add in any statistics or recent information into that blog so that you're not going down the rankings, you're actually increasing up through it.
Yeah.
It's also going to look to see if your content was mass generated. So if it mimics content from other like articles, it's going to also push you down the rankings. So you really want to make sure that you're making your content unique and that you're spending time to add some more context, more copy, more personalization to it overall.
Right.
Yeah, but if you do see that your website went down a few page rankings, don't freak out. It happens. Search for you. You're going to go right back up if you just create better content.
You just gotta ride the wave.
Yeah, you definitely have to ride the wave. This leads me into our fourth topic, which is the combination between social and search. It's another topic we've been discussing a lot lately. But following that trend, we saw that there was a TikTok and Google partnership. Then there was the Pinterest and Google ad partnership. And then the Reddit and Google data sharing partnership. So looking at all of these social platforms who are partnering with Google, it's indicating to us that your search strategy should probably be applicable to social media as well. So when you're creating social media content, think about the keywords or search terms people are using. And right now, search terms that have 7 words or more are delivering better revenue, better conversion. So as an example for us, that might be something like when to send your email campaigns for a higher click-through rate, or how to place your ads on certain platforms for better conversions, right? So thinking about those search terms and then creating video content for that and making sure that that question is in the actual video itself in the editing process and in the caption as well. But you really want to make sure that you're focusing on combining your search and social strategy as all these platforms are combining as well. You don't want to be behind this trend.
Can't.
No.
You can't. Not good for business.
No,
not good for business.
Definitely not. I would hate to see all social and search platforms merge together and then all of a sudden my strategy doesn't support that and I have to now climb up the ranks.
Not good.
It's much harder to climb your way up than to already be at the top and just have to fight for that spot.
Yeah. One of the things, so speaking of social, one of the things, we did this research and we started to see that with most, so essentially, we looked at some research that surveyed over 5 million websites. Social content, right? So social profiles. And the scary part that came out of this was that out of those 5+ million, 10 million sites, we had literally only 53% of those sites actually saw engagement. So there was a majority of those sites, 53% didn't even get engagement. Saying that backwards. So a majority of those social profiles and their content did not get engagement, right? So 50%. So 50+% of content doesn't really ever get seen, right? So what does that tell you?
It's a lot of content.
It's not about just getting out content. A lot of people are always like, get content out, post 10 million times a day, do this, whatever else. You have to start building relationships. Again, social media is not just about, selling. It's about growing a community around your industry, around your business, your brand, what you're doing, so that people want to engage with your content. And that's part of the issue. So, but thinking about that and that aspect, most people are actually wasting their time creating content. That's the crazy part. So over 53% of people in the US that are creating social content are wasting their time. And so you have to, how do you combat that? You have to create better content. You have to engage more with your follower base, and you have to make sure that you're adding the right values. When you're not adding value, people don't want to listen, right? And they don't want to watch. So it's important you do that, knowing that because of how difficult the algorithms have been in putting out good content versus just regular content that they'll look at as spammy, it's more people likely than not are not even getting shown anything. So quality always over quantity, and then also, of course, take the time to build quality relationships throughout your social profiles, the people who are following you, because if they don't know you, they just followed you, and then boom, you're just creating a bunch of content. Most likely they're going to leave, or they're going to stop following you, or they'll just never comment or like or engage with you, which then again hurts your content that you're putting out there.
Very true. And test, I've been seeing a lot of different creators and pages post the same video multiple times, but with either different audio, depending on what's trending, or different hooks. So test what works for you, because the video that you created might have quality content in it, it just doesn't have the right hook. It's taking too long to get to the point, or the algorithm's not liking it because it's original audio. So you have to use all of the different features and really A/B test the content you're producing.
Totally.
Yeah. All right, the next trend that I have here is an update to LinkedIn's algorithm, which is really interesting. And they're focusing, again, everybody's focusing on quality over quantity nowadays. And LinkedIn is...
Because it keeps people on the platform.
Definitely. They're moving away from any clickbait style content. So previously, the more people who clicked on read more on a LinkedIn article or post, it would see that that post had quality engagement, positive engagement. Now, it's not looking at any of the read more buttons as quality engagement. It's looking at the comments or the likes or how many people are actually sharing that content. So it wants all of the users to really focus on producing quality and using the newsletter product. So now you can subscribe to LinkedIn updates or build your newsletter directly on the platform.
Right.
And they're moving away from people calling themselves LinkedIn creators. They actually don't want the term creator on the platform. They want it to fall more in line with what you do as your professional title.
Right.
You're just creating content as a CEO or as whatever you are. So it seems like across the board, platforms are just focusing on quality. They just want humanized content, personalized content that delivers relevant, impactful information.
That makes sense. I mean, at the end of the day, again, like I say this all the time. These social channels, their number one job is to keep you dialed into their platform. They don't want you to leave. So if they see content that's not going to enable you to stay on the platform, they're going to say, this ain't the content for you. So obviously LinkedIn in their own lane, it's more professional content. They don't want it to be creator-based, which again, in some ways, I guess makes sense.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's like quality will always win on these things. That's the bottom line.
And being real, just sharing your real wins or your real challenges on the platform, especially on LinkedIn. Saying that that's what people wanted to read, not like a clickbaity e-guide or book or anything like that.
Yeah. All right, so we Gucci. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope everybody creates a great week ahead. Got to hit him with the Motivation Monday, Rob. He's got a black eye today, so we got to give him some Rocky motivation here, okay?
Rocky motivation.
Some Rocky
I like
motivation
that.
here. Rocky 5. Life's gonna beat you up. Just look at Rob's face, right? When sometimes your dad's gonna beat you up. But no, nonetheless, what I want to talk about, guys, is we're going into a new season, right? Like again, there's so many things. We're talking about Sora. We're talking about these things that are changing around us constantly. And so many people, last week we talked about how most of us charge our phones and we make sure our batteries are always full on our phones, but we don't recharge ourselves. And that's such a common thing. People don't take the time to figure out what they need and to recharge themselves to be the best they can be. Husband, wife, mom, dad, you name it, whatever, right? But now what I want to talk about is the seasons in your life, in your business, and you changing with them. Because at the end of the day, just like, go back to the damn phones. Every time there's a new iPhone or a new Apple product, everyone's running to get the new thing, and they're changing and they're adapting to what Apple just gives us. But they're never changing or adapting for themselves. And I was reminded this morning in a conversation that I had with somebody I'm mentoring, and the hardest thing in the world to do is change somebody else, right? It's the hardest thing in the world, right? If somebody doesn't want to be changed, you ain't changing them, sorry, right? But one thing that's equally as difficult is to change yourself. But that is the biggest change you can make in the world. And so, one of the things that one of my mentors early on shared with me that I want to share with you guys is, when you're looking at your environment and where you want to be, you hear things like dress for the job you want, right? Or, show up and that's important, right? As long as you show up, you're 50% of the way there, right? But one of the things that I heard early on that I love, that I still deploy today for myself is, you have to start doing the character traits of the person you want to become, right? And so again, some of these people who want to be, thriving, entrepreneurs or building a massive brand, whether it's in the fitness space. I had somebody, in my personal inner circle that wanted to start, a fitness, channel and build a brand. And I was like, all right, well, you better get ready, go get a tripod on Amazon, be in the gyms, create content, talk to people, just get out there. And, and the thing is, that's not what they normally did, right? They would go to the gym, work out and look great and feel good and whatever else, but they're not used to that next step. And it's embarrassing because you're there at the gym and if you're not massive or whatever, people are like, oh, look at this guy recording himself over here.
Right.
And it's a weird thing, but change is so, so important. And it's everything when you want to go to the next level. So changing your traits to be the person that you want to become. Again, success leaves clues, right? So if you're trying to become a successful business owner and in your industry there's somebody crushing it, reach out to that person, ask them what they've done, how they did it, understand that stuff. Some people would say, hey, I have in this job, again, in my world, my day starts super early, and in some cases will end very late depending upon clients and this stuff and that stuff and whatever else. So for me, if I'm gonna be successful in my days for my health or even just to get ahead of the day, if I'm not up super early, then I'm gonna end my day not where I want to end it, right? And so when I look at the people in my world who are super successful, I see that they're up early, they're taking care of their health early, they're starting their days early, and so for me, that's something that I do, right? Do I want to be doing those things? But I'd rather stay in bed or just be hanging out with my son and my wife? Absolutely. But ultimately, you have to consistently change. And more so, I guess one more better example would be, the person you need to become, right? Like as a leader, the tough part about being a leader, if you want to have a massive and a great company and a great, company where people, look to you for leadership and growth and you're moving the company forward, it's not like one of the things that I had to learn the hard way is you can't be friends with everybody, right? Like it's not about always being liked and being a people pleaser, and those things which most of us, right? Like especially me, I'm a natural people pleaser by visceral, that's how I am. So ultimately, in order to grow and scale, change for me is you can't always be liked in these circumstances. You can't always be agreeable. You can't always try to avoid the conflict. You have to go head first in there. So based on what you're looking to do, it's really important that you start to figure out what is that you need to do to level up. And that's going to take change in you, your schedule, how you act, what you're doing, your actions, and all of that stuff. So anyway, we are already, we're literally almost in Q2, which is so bananas to me still,
it is crazy,
right?
Yeah.
It's like we're in the third month of 2024. And I feel like I'm going to blink here and we're going to be have this conversation in Q4, and most people will not change. It's too comfortable. They don't want to do things that they're not used to doing, and they're not willing to change. And that's why they'll always be where they're going to be. Right? If you're one of those people, you're always going to stay where you're going to stay, and you're going to be frustrated about it and blame everybody else besides yourself. But it's up to you to get up and change yourself. So I hope you guys have an amazing week. If you know any business owners, entrepreneurs, people who are in the corporate world, share this with them. You can like, share, subscribe, listen to this on pretty much all major socials. You can catch us on YouTube Live, LinkedIn, all Meta Suites. And we'll see you guys next time.